Fuck libraries.
Fuck them.
You
Ever met a library you liked?
Yeah. Fuck it.
Fuck them.
There's your no context intro to this episode.
We should start every episode with just a random fuck you.
Fuck something.
Fuck you, libraries.
This week's episode is fucked to you by libraries.
Nice.
Fuck you, libraries.
I like that. It's fucked to you.
Fucked
by.
to you by
Nice.
libraries.
So now that's kind of like the library's doing the fucking a little bit too.
Yeah.
So everyone's getting fucked.
It's fair.
I like that.
Hey,
That's the shuffle guarantee. Everyone's getting fucked.
Everyone's getting fucked. That's the shuffle guarantee. Would everyone start fucking? What if we fuck
Oh
right
my
here?
God. Wait, did he change the lyrics on that one? Or he kept that?
No, he didn't. So I was thinking, I didn't even bother coming up with any other titles for this one. NOAFX.
Nice.
I mean, it has to be NOAFX.
Yeah.
There's no other option. That's what it is. All right. Hello and welcome to episode 16 of Shuffle.
Sweet 16.
Yeah, we can drive now.
Ooh.
We're going to be driving opinions on music into your brains.
Nice.
Fuck libraries. Please make sure to listen to the 5 songs that we will be discussing in this week's episode. Links to Spotify and YouTube playlists can be found in this episode's description. It has been 4 episodes since our last ICP incident. And
ICP incident.
couldn't really find any ICP news corner stuff. So move on to a different corner.
Where the clowns at?
Kanye news corner.
Nah.
So
Lots been going on.
The Life of Pablo is in a somewhat official capacity out. I'm assuming this is its final incarnation.
Yeah.
But who knows?
For the purists like me, we're not listening to it. Nope.
You only
Nope.
listen to the original.
We know the Illuminati put him up to it. He had to change it because it was too real.
Gotta get.
It was too real.
Revealing
I know.
too much.
I know, man.
Well, the Illuminati probably made a good call because The Life of Pablo just hit #1 on the Billboard 200 chart with an estimated 99 million U.S. streams after its first week of release.
Wow.
It's the #1 position was achieved with streams accounting for 70% of the record's unit sale numbers, and this is setting a huge precedent for the future of streaming.
Yeah.
Showing people that you don't need physical media to have a successful charting album.
Damn.
So
Kanye did it.
Good job, Illuminati.
Good job. Classic Illuminati.
Classic
move.
Illuminati, making calls, slowly, gradually changing the future of the country and its ongoings.
One Kanye at a time.
1 year at a time.
1 year at a time.
So did you hear about Beethoven at all?
I saw the headline, I think. Yeah.
So
some genius thought up.
on April 16th, a 70-piece orchestra will be bringing the music of Kanye West and Ludwig van Beethoven together.
Wow.
Entitled Beethoven. The series will splice together 6 Beethoven works with 6 Yeezus tracks.
Wow.
I'll post a link. I think it's a splice. They show a clip of splice of Beethoven's 5th mixed with Blood on the Leaves from Kanye.
Wow. This is like this symphony industry's like Hail Mary, last ditch effort. Like
Well, I feel like with the advent of, have you heard about this new up and coming Hamilton Broadway play?
about Alexander Hamilton's
Yeah, and
life.
it's like a hip hop Broadway story about Alexander Hamilton's life.
Yeah.
It's kind of like this meshing of
trying
hip-hop
really
is-
hard. Yeah. Shit.
It's taken off.
Shit. Why not?
So now that The Life of Pablo is officially out, I think I will be putting a cork in Kanye News Corner from now on.
We're shutting it down.
At least for now.
Temporarily, all
You know, I'm looking at you, TurboGrafx 16. But for now, I think anytime Kanye story comes up, it will just be moved to music news.
right. All right. So now we're introducing a new segment called Wings Corner,
Okay.
or the Wing Hut, I like to call it. In Wing news, Paul McCartney the other day was spotted golfing. That's pretty big news. because this guy doesn't get out that much. He was golfing down in northern California. Just a couple, nondescript people he was with, but golfing, looking good.
I am trying to tell whether you're like making this up or.
I got it right here.
Shit, you wrote it down. Here.
Wings Corner
Okay.
every week. You're giving me 3 minutes.
Okay. Keep going.
All right. All right, fine. I'll save it for next week.
Okay.
Wing Hut.
Wing Hut.
It's called
like
Wing Nut.
Like Pizza Hut and Wing Street.
Yeah,
Wing Hut.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Wing Hut.
We're actually sponsored. This episode brought to you by Pizza Hut.
Yep.
Yeah, we're sponsored now. It's a collaboration with Paul McCartney Wings and Pizza Hut.
Yeah, what's up, Paul McCartney? Maybe I'm going to start a podcast that's nothing but Paul McCartney news just to see if I can get his attention. Not in a creepy way, but it's obviously going to be a little creepy.
I feel like if it's specifically about Paul McCartney news, you're going to have to do some like deep sleuthing to keep having content for
I'll just make shit up. I'll say reports suggest that perhaps, and then I'll say whatever I want.
Well, okay, slightly tangential. Just knowing your love of Paul and also your ability to draw parallels in like a conspiracy theory-esque way.
Oh, go on.
Well, I mean, how far have you looked into this Paul is dead conspiracy? Do you know like everything about it?
I've seen the official documentary. It's extremely, extremely compelling. Very persuasive. You gotta check it out.
The thought of them taking some dude and like giving him plastic surgery to look like Paul and just be like, "You're just Paul from now on."
Now that's not what it. Now here it is.
That's the one that I heard. That's the one.
Well,
that
maybe
I heard.
they probably gave him, but there was like a famous Beatles lookalike competition early on, and this guy was a dead ringer for Paul. And so Paul died, bringing.
So do you believe that the reason why they did, so this is how it was presented to me.
Yeah.
This was off of a conspiracy theory podcast I listened to called Real Life Sci-Fi. The theory they presented was that Paul died in a horrible car accident.
Yep.
And Interpol or whatever, the British police, the authorities thought that the public could not handle this news. They imagined like mass
Hysteria.
suicides, just hysteria, rioting, suicides, littering the streets. So rather than tell the people that Paul is dead, they forced a man into pretending to be Paul for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
That's the theory that this documentary presents.
I can't quite remember the exact reason, whether it was because they were shocked that they were afraid people would like freak out, or people just wanted to keep riding the money train.
But
I can't remember which one they alleged.
But you believe it was accident. You don't think someone took him out. It was an accidental death.
I think from what I've heard, it was an accidental. I mean, to break character for a second,
just 1 second.
Paul McCartney definitely died. Okay, let's just be real. But who gives a shit? Because he was an asshole, and the new Paul's way better.
Way better.
You hear the albums? Post Paul? They're fantastic. So,
okay, back in character.
Okay, back in character. I doubt Paul.
Okay. So I guess that ends our new segment.
The Wing Hut out.
Wing Hut out. Conspiracy corner. Conspiracy Avenue.
I like this.
All right.
Question mark, question mark.
Yeah.
Mystery, mystery.
Question mark, mystery, mystery. That's the name of the new segment.
You know, when Michael Jackson, I heard when he had to get, refigured, that was the old Paul McCartney's. That's the real ultimate.
We could have episodes all about music conspiracies.
Yeah, no kidding.
You and I, off mic, have already talked about a certain Jandek episode,
which I think I cracked. I think I have the most compelling argument.
Too. This kind of blew me away. Also, the entire Andrew WK thing, if you know anything about that.
Only a little bit.
Okay,
so yeah,
that's a whole can of worms right there.
Yeah,
and then, Kurt Cobain, Michael Jackson. We could have once a month have a
mysteries.
Yeah.
Mysteries in the world of music.
We'll come up with a better name.
Can I still use that voice?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
The whole episode needs to be done in that voice, though. So you might want to like.
Did Michael Jackson die? You'll find out right now. Rex Kwando.
Yeah,
I think that's where I got
Napoleon Dynamite. Okay, music news. I'll start with the more boring stuff and get more interesting. I included this just because it's very important to me. The Gorillaz are officially, not the Gorillaz are officially back in the studio.
Yeah.
Jamie Hewlett, the artist and co-creator of Gorillaz, recently posted 2 Instagram videos showing himself and Damon Albarn back in the studio recording the Gorillaz' 5th installment.
Nice.
Super excited.
Damn.
Nothing much to say there.
No, that'll be cool.
Did you hear that recently during this Smashing Pumpkins tour that James Iha and Jimmy Chamberlain both joined Billy on stage?
Yep, I saw that.
Meaning that it was the entire old Smashing Pumpkins minus Darcy Retzky.
Yeah. Who would have thought?
Kind of exciting.
Yeah, who would have thought, man?
I will honestly say if Darcy shows up, I will be very surprised because they did not leave on good terms, if you know anything about that. I'm pretty sure they forced her into rehab and she didn't want to go. And yeah, but exciting news for Smashing Pumpkins fans. Maybe James and Jimmy can kind of bring Billy down a notch.
Bring him,
Left to his own devices, he kind of self-destructs a bit.
Except his poetry. Have you read his poetry? Fantastic.
Oh, I'm just waiting for the documentary about America.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I still think that's got to be a joke by his PR team.
I don't know. He's so serious all the time. It's really... I hope it's a joke.
Yeah.
I hope it's a joke. Or I hope it's like vaporware in that it is announced and never gets released.
Yeah, never gets out. Yeah.
Let's see what else.
The Avalanche.
Yeah, well, I wasn't gonna. I literally just read that a second ago. Yeah, Avalanches are officially back.
They're back.
People were speculating because all of a sudden all of their social media websites, the icon changed like a week ago, and there's a whole tour and everything all planned out.
It might finally come out. That's it. But it might finally come out. It might. The album, the long-awaited album.
How many years has it been?
15, right? Shit. 15. It broke Chinese democracy. That was like the
record.
Job. Yeah.
Someone had to bring Guns N' Roses down a peg. Let's see. Are you familiar with the experimental lo-fi group Zuzu?
Nope.
XIU?
No, not really. Maybe I've seen the name.
They're interesting to say the least.
Yeah.
They put out just a fuckload of music constantly, and some of it's good, some of it's really bad. It's always interesting. They have announced that they are going to be doing an album entirely of Twin Peaks covers for Record Store Day this year.
Wow.
So they are reinterpretations of the songs.
Huh.
They've shared one so far. It's called Fallen, and it is a reinterpretation of the Twin Peaks theme song.
Oh, the theme. Okay.
It's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
It starts off pretty much exactly how you'd think, and it kind of expands upon it, and they actually add lyrics and vocals to it, and it actually works. I wouldn't think it would, but I'll post a link to it. It's worth checking out. I definitely am curious to hear the rest
Are there
of
that
it.
Many songs? I haven't seen the show in a long time. There's a lot of like songs that...
Yeah, there's a whole soundtrack, I believe. It's like about 12 songs long.
Okay. Yeah. Shit. Yeah. I'll have to listen to that first. But.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
nice.
And Tom Waits is set to star in a brand new Hulu supernatural drama called Citizen. He will be playing a priest named Caesar who runs a guerrilla humanitarian outfit. And the show has been described as a hero's origin story with elements of both magical realism and gritty vigilantism.
It will be great, but part of me just wishes he'd make a new album. Just keep making music.
Yeah, he hasn't put out a new album since Bad As Me, and that was...
Right? Yeah, that's like
2012, 2011.
Yeah. so it's been a while. But I mean, he's already done a shit ton. But
He's put out a lot of music.
yeah, he's paid.
Come
his
on,
dues.
Tom, you're slacking.
He's paid his dues, but it'll be good. I'm sure it'll be good.
And in our final news segment, going back to Andrew WK, Andrew WK has officially organized his own political party.
Yeah.
And of course, it's called the Party Party.
The Party Party.
Which is so fucking awesome. It's being framed as an all-inclusive alternative to the traditional two-party model. There's a website you can go to. They have a pretty great informational video about it, as well as a petition you can sign to help legitimize the newfound political organization. So if you want to support the Party Party,
The Party Party.
sign up today.
Like,
So what have you been listening to lately?
I was listening to the radio, and a song came on, and I was like, wow, that's a oddly good song for the radio. Thank you, radio. I was shocked, and I followed it up, and this is a song that I'm probably like the last person on earth to actually listen to him, and I'm like the last person on earth to be like, wow, Björk is a fantastic artist. I'd never listened to Björk before my entire life, and it was a song off her album called Debut, which was kind of her debut album, kind of not. I don't know how much you know about Björk, probably more than me. But
yeah, I'm a moderate
Yeah.
Björk fan.
I mean, I literally never listened to her, but it was Human Behavior.
Human Behavior is a great song.
Yeah, and I was like, fuck, that's a good song. And then I just started listening to some of her albums, her newest one, Volnacura, if I'm saying that right. And even I listened to some of the stuff from her original Icelandic band, the Ice Cubes.
Sugar Cubes.
Sugar Cubes, that's it. Ice Cube, Sugar. But dude, she's fucking fantastic. I'm amazed.
She's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah.
You weren't on this episode. Maddie's brother Max was, but a Björk song was actually on shuffle.
Nice.
Well, and it's one of my favorite songs. All Is Full of Love. I highly recommend checking it out.
Nice.
It's trip hoppy.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's great. No, Human Behavior is a great song.
Yeah.
I got super into Björk because I had this acting teacher in high school who was really into Michel Gondry.
Okay.
And we watched
a
his
couple videos.
DVD of music videos, and he's done a ton of stuff with Björk. So
Yeah, she's like, the level of thought that goes into the songs seems like comparable to like Tom Waits. Like, Tom Waits, like, nothing on the album is like a mistake. You know what I mean? He didn't just throw it on some riff he'd heard a million times and just cranked one out.
You know, that's like a parallel I never have drawn before, but that makes a lot of sense. Like, Björk and Tom Waits really, they're like these like phenomenons unto themselves.
Yeah.
No one else is like them.
Yeah.
They're this single solo artist with this huge, expansive discography of many different sounds and variations.
One has like an angel voice, one has the voice of a devil.
Satan himself.
But really, I mean, they both like, singular artists.
And it's like
tons of thought go into the music.
Really big in Japan.
Yeah, big. Yeah. No kidding. But no, so Björk. So I'm like the last one on earth to discover
Welcome
Björk. I feel like
the Bjorn train. Björk train. Oh, and I learned through her being on the episode, her name is actually pronounced Björk, like the word jerk, but with the letter B in front of it. Björk.
Björk.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
I always say Björk also.
Wow.
But
I didn't know that she was married to Matthew Barney, who made a fucking crazy ass movie series called Crimister.
Oh shit!
If you've ever fucking seen Crimister Cycle,
I have not. But you just reminded me of something that's totally going to be up your alley. I talked about this a bit. So in the 90s, Björk had a stalker.
Oh yeah.
It's there's a documentary about it. It's really fucked up. His name is Ricardo Lopez. He was, first of all, mentally unstable and obsessed with Björk. And at the time, she had started dating this British electronic artist named Goldie, who is black.
Yeah.
African British,
Yeah.
whatever, and he hated black people. So in his mind, he had built Björk up as this like perfect, pristine angel, and he went fucking crazy. He's like, how can she date a black man?
Wow.
By the way, he never used the word black man. You can imagine the word he used. So he bought a video camera and like taped himself for months just ranting and raving and like going into madness, and he came up with this idea of building an acid bomb and sending it to her to either A, kill her to punish her, or B, disfigure her so she knows that she did wrong.
Wow.
And he basically builds this book that when you open it, a spring-loaded trap comes and shoots acid into her face.
Really? Holy shit.
And then like the video ends like he mailed it off, and then the very last bit of the video is like him shaving all of the hair off of his body, painting his face, listening to her album, and when the very last note of the album goes off, he puts a gun in his mouth and blows his brains out.
Holy shit.
And the FBI found all these videos, and then somehow this like Danish documentarian got a hold of it and edited it into an hour-long documentary that if you go on the right part of the internet, you can find. It's not that easy to grab, but holy shit, dude.
Wow.
It's...
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's fucking nuts.
If you go on YouTube and just type in Ricardo Lopez, there's at least like little clips from it.
Wow.
If you really want to see the whole thing,
dude,
I might be able to hook you.
Yeah. Off the record, yeah. Jesus Christ. That's fucking nuts. Yeah. Damn, my girl Björk, she been through a lot.
Björk. I like
Dang.
So I've been listening to, funnily enough, The Life of Pablo.
The new, wait, so the real one or the fake one?
Yes.
There's two, man. There's two.
Remastered, officially released one.
The remix. The fake one.
I will say, yes, the fake. So I've been listening to the fake Life of Pablo.
Thank you.
It's
I haven't heard it.
It's really growing on me.
Yeah.
Like, I know we had a review of it, and I just gotta hand it to Kanye. I think the thing he does best is production.
Yeah.
He always does something interesting with production, and he handed us this hot mess of an album that sounded just thrown together at the last minute.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying it is not like cohesive. It is still like this weird hodgepodge. There's a lot of like cringeworthy moments on it still, but even just the minor tweaks to the production makes it feel like a complete finished album.
Nice, yeah.
For as minor as the changes were, it adds a lot.
Yeah.
And, you know, there were some line changes, there's some extra lines in Chance's verses and Ultralight Beams.
Nice.
He gave Frank Ocean his own track. He added Sia back to Wolves. He changed around some other lines, and it just feels a lot better to listen
complete.
to.
Nice. I'll have to check it out.
I'm not as distracted by how like insane it sounds anymore, and I'm just truly enjoying his production.
Nice.
The lyrics are still fucking stupid for the most part, but it's sonically, I believe, is a much more enjoyable listen now.
Nice. I'll have to check it out. I'll have to check it out.
Though I might be wrong about this, but I think he made the Low Lights or Low Life song longer. The track of the woman saying, "You want me to tell you what he's done for my life?"
Made it longer.
Maybe I
or just feels longer.
Maybe it just feels longer because of how much I hate it.
Yeah.
But it feels like there's an extra minute in there. And I could easily check this out, but I didn't.
That's like the kind of track that wouldn't even make like the B-side cut.
A track like that, if you're gonna add it in, should be like a 15-second transition. It should not be like a 3-minute long monologue about Kanye/God.
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid.
No, I'll listen to that album.
Okay.
I really should.
Let's move on to our first track, the one that I cannot pronounce.
Ma Mir Loy. Can't you read?
Okay,
Come on.
there's the first part. So that means Mother Goose
What?
in French. And then Tableau V, Laideronnette. I don't know. It's this track by Maurice Ravel. You can read it for yourself. It's in French. And it is from his Mother Goose Symphony, I believe, which was originally released in 1911.
That was a hot year for these kind of fairy tale tracks, man.
Hot year.
Hot year.
He's climbing up the Billboard 200 charts.
He's really catering to the mainstream,
Yes.
but I'll cut him some slack.
So, Joseph Maurice Ravel was a French composer, pianist, and conductor. He is often associated with the Impressionist movement, though he rejected the term.
Hipster.
Classic hipster. In the 1920s and 30s, he was internationally regarded as France's greatest living composer at the time.
Wow.
Ravel is known for incorporating elements of Baroque, neoclassicism, and in his later works, actually jazz. And he was a very slow and painstaking worker. He composed fewer pieces than pretty much all of his contemporaries. He actually, in his time of composing, in his repertoire consisted of like a few piano pieces, some chamber music, 2 piano concertos, ballet music, 2 operas, 8 song cycles. And so I take it back. This is not a symphony. I don't know my classical music terminology because my notes say that he never wrote a symphony nor any religious works of any sort. So I guess this is probably considered a song or an opera, maybe.
Maybe
an opera.
Yeah.
Well, because I know what he did often is he would write these piano pieces and then eventually convert them into orchestrated pieces. So
Okay.
this actually began as just a solo piano work, and then
Yeah.
eventually he expanded it to a full orchestra.
Yeah. Yeah.
And another little interesting fact about Ravel, he was among one of the very first composers to recognize the potential in recording music to bring music to a wider public. So in the early 1920s, despite his limited technique as a pianist and conductor, he actually took part in recordings of several of his works, and then the ones that he didn't actually compose, he at least supervised it. So
Wow.
he's one of the very first composers to actually
Get in the studio.
hear a recording of his
Wow.
own music,
Wow.
which is kind of cool.
Wow.
Yeah, and I really couldn't find out that much more about like this piece in particular, other than like that it was originally a piano piece. So what did you think of this, our first classical piece?
I hated it. Where's the electric guitar, bro? Come on. Where's the? No, I'm fucking kidding. I just love the idea of hating this.
I think
song.
you should have 2 guitars.
Hey, this song needs 2 guitars, man. Come on. No. Hey, I mean, okay, it's not a bad song. I certainly don't have the ear to pick up on what might be Baroque or classical or neoclassical or jazz infusion. But I mean, it's a nice kind of floral, light, kind of regal, playful song. It's nice. It seems like it would. I had no idea. I wasn't brushing up on my French, so I had no idea this was from Mother Goose. Makes complete sense. It sounds like
It does kind of sound like a fairy tale.
Yeah. It's like a light, playful. It would go with some narrative. It seems like a song that would go with some narrative or visual or play, etc. So I mean, it was nice.
Yeah, I thought it was very impressive for being such a short piece of orchestrated music. It's just under 4 minutes, I believe.
Yeah.
It spans quite a few like emotional sounds.
Yeah,
Like,
it does.
It starts off kind of very uplifting, and then it kind of gets to this like really manic, like
Yep.
but it's like happy,
Yeah.
and then it kind of reaches this like really kind of low, somber,
introspective
unsettling
kind of. Yeah.
and then it goes back and like kind of reprises
Yeah.
the original kind of really uplifting,
Yeah.
whimsical. Like speaking of Mother Goose, I definitely kind of, whenever I listen to classical music, due to how abstract it is, I can't help but like see pictures in my head. I definitely saw kind of like a Disney cartoon, like morning in a forest with like critters waking up and crawling over the place, like Snow White or something.
Yeah, which would mean it's a success. I mean, the song's supposed to go. And I mean, one thing I think, you can't really compare pop music with classical music. You probably shouldn't, but if one were to, there's no comparison to just the depth and of attention to the different instruments and sound. If you're just talking about layer of sound, all the different instruments nesting a melody so kind of deeply and harmoniously. It just like blows pop music out of the water. It may not always be the most interesting thing to actually listen to.
Sure.
But when you really listen, this song too, it just nests the melody in such a kind of amazing kind of flourish and movement. It's impressive.
Yeah.
I could never do it. I could never write a song like this.
Yeah. And speaking to that, one of the things I did read about Ravel was, and I guess one of the reasons why he was considered to be like France's greatest living composer is, while he might not have been like the strongest pianist and composer, like he's been described as someone who truly understood like the weight and tone of each instrument.
Yeah.
So he knew exactly how it should fit and where it should go in the song. So and like they say, he was very a slow, painstaking composer. So like he spent a lot of time making sure every note from every instrument was just in its like perfect right place.
Yeah, no doubt. Really, it's a sonic, just kind of, I don't know why I keep using the word nest, but it's like a sonic nest.
Well, because it's like animals and birds in nature.
Yeah.
Mother Goose, nest.
Yeah, really.
Mother Goose's nest.
Yeah, it is. It really is. There are a tremendous amount of instruments. Again, you compare pop music, which has bass, maybe 2 guitars if you're lucky, man. If you're lucky, it's got 2 drums, vocals, but it's strings, brass, percussion, all had a harmonium at one point too. But it's you don't hear all. That's the beautiful thing. An 8-year-old kid can listen to it and be like, "That's a nice song." They're not gonna say, "Wow, why are there 25 instruments?" That's the beautiful. That's the beauty of it. It's amazing to coordinate all that sound. That's about as deeply as I can analyze it, unfortunately.
No, that is a good point. Like, some like 5-piece bands have a hard time keeping their shit together, and the thought of like this huge orchestra like moving and it's impressive.
Yeah, it's virtuoso. Shit, I couldn't do it. It's a little.
Hey, don't write yourself off.
Hey. Actually, funny you should say. I actually have something.
All right, let's play. Let's put it on.
No, we'll save that for the Wing Hut.
Okay.
Corner, so.
All right, sounds good.
But no, it's a good song. Yeah, it's a good song.
Yeah, I thought it was very enjoyable, and I will say, listening to like the 4 minutes of this did make me want, like, it intrigued me as to wanting to hear the rest of, like, I wanted to hear it within the context of the rest of the piece.
Yeah.
Which I probably should, since I have it on my computer, I guess.
Have you ever listened to it? Or is this one that was just hidden away on the in the iTunes folder?
I honestly think
I never heard of this guy before.
No, neither had I. In actually, Maddie, who did orchestra all throughout middle school and high school, she said that she didn't even recognize this guy's name.
Okay, now I don't feel as bad because I played cello. I'd never heard this guy.
Okay, she did.
Oh, maybe she did.
She recognized it.
I had no idea though.
But he is more of a. I know 1911's old, but like in regards to like some of the greats, he is more of a contemporary composer. Yeah. So, he's not up there with your Beethovens and
But someday,
Ravel.
My dream is that my son will play this song in this 5th grade orchestra recital.
Specifically 5th grade.
5th grade,
if
man.
If it's 6th or 4th,
if you fuck up,
ruined.
If you fuck up, Dominic Jr., you're out.
Dommy Jugs Jr.
Dommy Jugs J. D double J.
D double J.
D double J Jug.
Oh, your poor future kid. All right, let's move on to our next track. Debate Exposes Doubt by Death Cab for Cutie off the 2001 album, The Photo Album. Death Cab for Cutie is an American alternative and indie rock band from Bellingham, Washington. Lead singer, frontman, and creator or founder of the band, Ben Gibbard, came up with the name Death Cab for Cutie. He actually took it from the song Death Cab for Cutie, written by Neil Inez and Sissy and Stanshall, and performed by their group, the Bozo Dog Doodah Band.
What?
The song was performed by the Bozos in the Beatles film Magical Mystery Tour. So this was kind of a fake band for the Magical Mystery Tour movie. And they wrote a song called Death Cab for Cutie. Okay. That's where he got it.
And just to be clear, this was post Paul. They said Magical Mystery Tour.
Sure, yeah.
This is
the better fake Paul.
Yeah, to give credit where credit's due. I mean, this is a bit of a digression, but it's an important one. I like.
Sorry, no, I love that you're holding our Beatles facts up to scrutiny.
Yeah.
So the song's name, Death Cab for Cutie, was in turn taken from an invented pulp fiction crime magazine devised by the English academic Richard Hoggart in his 1957 study of working class culture, The Uses of Literacy.
Whoa.
So
wow.
Kind of has like two origin points in a way.
That's impressive.
In a 2011 interview, Gibbard stated, the name was never supposed to be something that someone was going to reference 15 years on. So yeah, I would absolutely go back and give it a more obvious name. He didn't think people would draw the connections.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like even at the time when he named the band, the Beatles were like the biggest fucking thing ever. So
yeah.
I mean, yeah, I guess it is very kind of niche, but the Beatles are big enough where there's enough, rabid fans of it.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good name.
Yeah.
It's definitely misleading for the kind of music they make.
Yeah.
Like what band do you imagine when you hear Death Cab for Cutie?
It's hard. I'm trying to think of when I first heard a Death Cab for Cutie song. Because now I can't get it out of my head, but yeah, you would imagine something kind of dark.
Well, see,
and something heavy, probably.
I remember when I first saw the name, a girl was wearing a t-shirt, and I guess this girl influenced what I thought of it because I knew her to like kind of like really post-hardcore emo music.
Yeah.
So she was wearing that, so I assumed it was going to be like The Used or From Autumn to Ashes or Under Oath-esque band.
Yeah.
And I was into that music too, so I'm like, oh hey, what's Death Cab for Cutie? And I remember her saying, oh, you wouldn't like them. Don't bother looking, which made me want to say, fuck you. Now I want to go listen to them.
Yeah.
Like I went home, and before even listening to it, I just like went and just arbitrarily downloaded their album Transatlanticism.
Oh yeah.
And I remember listening to it, I'm like, wow, this isn't anything like I imagined. And now it slowly, gradually turned into like one of my all-time favorite albums.
Yeah.
So I guess in a way, thank you.
Yeah, for the
Kelsey Schweiker. That was her name. Thank you,
Kelsey.
I'm sure she listens.
Our number one fan, Kelsey. Yeah.
So this album, the photo album, was kind of marked a gradual change in Death Cab's sound. Their earlier music was more kind of noisy is not a good word, but a more noisy kind of lo-fi, early Modest Mouse, Built to Spill kind of indie noisy rock. And this album was kind of along their path to their more emotionally charged indie rock that we kind of know them to be today. This was one of those kind of transitional albums.
Yeah.
Mulaney Hopt of the Austin Chronicle gave this album 3 stars out of 5 and saying, it's rare talent that can express emotions so concisely. Even more rare is the ability to deliver them in a near whisper rather than a scream. which I thought resonated very much so, especially with this song.
Yeah.
This song seems to be, from my interpretation, about someone struggling with the impossibility of loving someone else unconditionally, and then using alcohol as a means to try to ignore this fact. The narrator then sees this perfect couple, but soon realizes that they're just two generic people following the motions, and that even they are just kind of leading this fake love. And then the song ends with him accepting this fate to never truly love whomever he's with.
Yeah.
And he basically kind of just resides to drink a lot to numb the pain of his realization.
Yeah.
Last and an interesting fact to go along with that, the last line of the song kind of ties the whole album together. So the album's called the Photo Album, and each song on the album kind of, at least at one point in every song, will kind of try to hit a visual cue, such as a photo album.
Right.
And the first song on the album is called Steadier Footing, which is kind of a weird title. But and that song is kind of supposed to kind of like show the stability that was the goal of this album. All of the soul-searching, confessional lyrics, cathartic impulses kind of lead to this point at the end. So like the first song is called Steadier Footing, and it's about trying to find this stability. But at the end of the song, the very last line of the song is that he is alone and staggering.
Yeah.
So it kind of shows this failure to find stability. And he just ends up drunk and staggering at the end.
Yeah.
And actually, there was a series of bonus songs on this album, which eventually became an EP called the Stability EP. And to draw another connection point, that EP contained a cover of the All Is Full of Love song by Björk that I talked about earlier in this episode.
Wow. Are you bullshitting me?
Boom!
Are you bullshitting me?
No, I will post that shit. They did a great cover of
Holy
that Björk
shit.
song.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's quite the connection. This was not planned ahead of time,
No,
ladies and gentlemen.
It was not at all.
Damn.
Ben Gibbard has stated this song, the one little snippet he gave is, I like this song's structure. It's about how the most beautiful people in the world look the most generic. That was his insight as to the meaning of the song.
Beautiful look the most generic.
Yeah, so what did you think of Debate Exposes Doubt?
I thought this was a good song.
Okay, there's his review. Let's move on to the next one. No.
Line the next one up. Hey, bring the next one.
Sorry. Okay.
This one was good.
You thought it was a good song.
This was a good song. I don't know Death Cab for Cutie extremely well, like a casual fan. Like, I've heard their songs on the radio through friends, and I've liked them. It seems like there's some... To me, the selling point has always been just like at a sheer sense of sincerity. These songs like touch me. The guy just sounds so goddamn sincere. He just like, I can't, you know what I mean? It's like I can't get him away. He just sounds like too sincere.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know what I'm saying. Maybe it's not fair. He just seems like very sincere, and the lyrics are usually pretty well crafted, and the lyrics are very good too. My main complaint was I don't know why the song was so long. I could not figure it out.
There is
I couldn't figure it out.
exceptionally long outro, instrumental outro.
2:30 to 4:36 is like almost exactly the same outro. Maybe there's just tiny bit shift, but that was the one thing I found frustrating. I was like, give me some more lyrics or do something a little crazier with the instruments. That was the one thing that really frustrated me.
I will say, first of all, my best explanation is just that this is the last track on the album.
So then that's it's a more cathartic
it's
outro.
almost as like an outro to the album as a whole.
See that, and then maybe I'd hear more of the differences in there too. Yeah, that makes sense.
Secondly,
that makes sense.
Death Cab, they've been known to kind of experiment with extended instrumentals. Now, The other two that I can think of aren't as static as this.
Yeah.
Their song Transatlanticism, and then off of Transatlanticism has this very building ending. So it's similar to this song where it takes place at the end, but it has like a post-rock crescendo to it where it just builds and builds and builds, and like especially the album recording of it does not do it justice. If you ever see them perform the song live, it's like the drummer is just beating the shit out of the drums and the bass is just slamming on, like it gets fucking loud for a band that doesn't seem like as much of a pulse. They can really get fucking loud.
Nice.
And then also their song off of Narrow Stairs, I Will Possess Your Heart, has like this super long intro. It just starts off with like this bass line, like doom 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 doom, and then it kind of slowly keeps like layering instrumentation on it, and then it finally builds to them actually singing. So again, this is like contextual in that of like a Death Cab fan would recognize this, but like this to me, based off of where in their discography this appears, it seems like it's their like first steps towards kind of experimenting with like this jam instrumentation mixed with kind of sad introspective indie rock.
Yep. Because it's not. That makes a lot of sense. Because it's not till like the very last few seconds where it's like stripped down, and then it gets a little like dissonant too, like a little bit more experimental, like the last like 20 seconds. So it's like maybe they were just kind of getting warmed up. But that was. I mean, it's a small gripe, but that last 2 minutes.
Gripe corner.
Yeah, gripe corner. They could have done a little bit more. Like more instruments, more layers, more angular.
Like it should have been
dissonant.
so static. They should have explored a bit.
But it makes sense, hearing it in context of the album. Maybe I dig it.
And a fair point to you though, like you shouldn't know, like, while it makes sense within the context of the discography, at the time they had written it, it seems to you they have failed as a band because you can't really get across that idea as like, hey, we're trying this out, we're going to do better in the future.
Yeah.
So to someone like you who doesn't like that doesn't do much, though, like now it might ease your mind a bit more.
When I first heard it, I was like, are they getting paid for like every second that this song is?
Just milking it?
They're like, just one more minute so I can buy this ship. I mean, I didn't know why is it so long? It's like over half the song is the same. But, but that's really a testament to it. I liked, again, the lyrics in the first 2 minutes. I mean, it was a really well-crafted song.
Yeah, I guess, forewarning, I love Death Cab. This song, especially after, like, analyzing it at the scrutiny that I need to for, like, doing this podcast.
Yeah.
This is, like, fucking dark song.
Yeah. Like, yeah. Especially, that last line that you mentioned.
Ben Gibbard, he's kind of pretentious at times, but he's very sincere.
Yeah, he seems. Yeah, I mean, that's always
like, I don't doubt his intentions or his emotions ever, and he's a great lyricist. And I mean, this is a particular album that I haven't listened to that much within their discography, and like, it was almost unsettling how cynical this song was.
Yeah.
Especially like, I almost wish like he was kind of writing this from the perspective of a character, because like to think that he felt this way, almost like it's like this person who like, of course I don't know Ben Gibbard at all, but based off of like my relationship with him, with his music, it's like, oh, this isn't the Ben I know.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, it is
like just this like alcoholic drinking as to avoid his realizations on life. It's so
working days
dark.
Were propping the bar, quietly erasing the week.
Yeah, just
repetition starts to thin their meaning. The word. Oof. There's no way to live, buddy. Damn. But I mean, it is again, form and content. It's a nice mix of like, because when he sees like finally there's clarity, the music does kind of lighten, and you
Yeah.
feel, and then when it ends with that, but I alone am staggering, then you get kind of minor chords. So yeah, hey, that's a nice mix of, but yeah, it's dark. It is really
And
dark.
I do have to hand it to him, like, you don't really get across the idea of this jaded cynicism without reading the lyrics.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
on the surface, it sounds kind of like sad and wistful, but it's not until you read the lyrics that you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's a great song overall.
Yeah.
I can see where you're coming from. The ending might be a bit repetitive and not that useful to like getting across a new idea though.
Yeah. But overall, good song.
Good song.
Good song.
Next song.
Like, it's the good rating.
It's good.
The shuffle goods.
Two goods up. All right, next song, Atlas Song by Jónsi and Alex off the 2009 album Rice Boy Sleeps. Jónsi and Alex is an artistic collaboration between Jónsi Björkson and his partner Alex Somers. Jónsi, if you're not aware, is the guitarist and vocalist for the legendary Icelandic post-rock band Sigur Rós.
Mm-hmm.
He is known for his use of using a cello bow on his guitar and his falsetto voice. Interesting fact about him, he is blind in his right eye.
Shit, I didn't even know.
If you ever notice, he's kind of cockeyed a bit, and he's blind in his right eye.
I thought it was just one of those artist things, over my head.
It's a statement. No, it's actually the result of a broken optic nerve that he was born with.
Oof.
And Alex Somers, his boyfriend, is an American visual artist and musician from Baltimore, Maryland.
Oh.
As well as being a member of Jónsi and Alex, he was also part of a post-rock band called Parachutes for a brief period of time. The name comes from a common term for dandelion seeds, which I didn't know. They're called parachutes.
Huh.
They recorded most of their music in his kitchen and living room and commonly experimented using household objects and toys as instruments.
Yeah.
And actually, the first time I saw Sigur Rós in concert, Parachutes opened for them.
Wow.
But they, as of
Nice,
2008,
nice.
they are now a defunct band. No longer together.
Parachute. I didn't even know you.
No. So now he spends most of his time producing. He actually has a record label in Iceland where he lives with Jónsi.
Nice.
He's done production on many of Sigur Rós's albums as well as helped create their artwork.
Nice.
And he also played a huge role in Jónsi's solo album Go, producing it, performing on it as well. So Jónsi and Alex began as a Sigur Rós side project around 2003, and they originally called Rice Boy Sleeps. That was the original name of the project. And it actually started as a visual art project, not musical. They actually created a picture book and did like a limited run of it intended for children, I believe. And then eventually they started making music. The music tends to be in the same vein as Sigur Rós, though way more ethereal and experimental.
Mm-hmm.
And a little interesting fact about a song on this album, not the Atlas song, the one we're talking about, but there is a song on this album called Boy 1904, and it uses a recording of the last known castrato, Alessandro Moreschi.
Wow.
Now, for those of you not familiar,
Castrato is in the castratiato. Huh?
yes,
Damn.
castrato is a type of classical male singing voice equivalent to that of a soprano, mezzo-soprano, or contralto.
But Jared, how do they get the voices so high?
Oh, we're getting there. Don't you worry. I'll tell you how to get the voices so high. The voice is produced by castration of the singer before puberty sets in.
How sweet.
Though sometimes it can occur due to an endocrinological condition. So it says a condition you're born with that you never reach sexual maturity. But usually it happened by cutting their balls off.
Damn.
Yeah.
For art. They did it
For art.
For the aesthetic.
Castration before puberty prevents the boy's larynx from being transformed by the normal physiological events of puberty. And as the castrato's body grew, his lack of testosterone meant that his bone joints did not harden the normal manner. Thus, the limbs of the castrati often grew unusually long, as did the bones of the rib. This, combined with the intensive training, actually gave them an unrivaled lung power and breath capacity that others lacked, because they actually had more space. Their ribs were further apart, so their lungs could actually expand more than a normal person's.
Wow.
Prepubescent castration was officially made illegal in 1870.
Buzzkill. Why?
Yeah.
Why did
And
it
actually,
take so long?
I tried to like search the history of like how this began, and like it goes way back. Like castration obviously used to be a form of like punishment.
Yeah.
And it was a little vague, the research I did, but basically it used to be a way to like punish criminals, and then they somehow stumbled upon the fact that it makes people sing well. So then the Catholic Church started doing it to all these little boys, and
As they do. Yeah.
then poor Alessandro. He's
Damn.
actually also I believe the only castrato to like actually be recorded.
Wow.
Like there's no
Yeah,
recordings
yeah,
of castratos except for this guy, because he was the last one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
So yeah, castration. Rice Boy sleeps. Pitchfork's Ian Cohen had this to say about this album.
Ian Cohen, yeah.
Depending on how you look at it, Rice Boy Sleeps can be considered a defiant statement, doing a full-on cannonball into Pure Mood's bubble bath. Jónsi and Alex keep the orchestration and elastic song lengths of Sigur Rós, but break rank by all but eliminating rock-based textures and structures, and most startlingly, the most iconic part of the band's sound, Jónsi's own voice. I'll be quite honest. When I first tried to tackle this thing as a whole, I fucking hated it. That's not really the response a record that goes so far out of its way to soothe should elicit. But regardless of Eno, Stars of the Lid, and Mountains being staples of a listener's balanced diet, you always run the risk of approaching ambient music while otherwise being in the verse-chorus mindset. But what struck me as most frustrating about 20 minutes in was just how indecisive the sound about its ambience. Too deconstructed, patient, and ethereal to really qualify as pop music, obviously, but also too ostentatious. Its average track length of 8.5 minutes, was it really earned? And well, loud to fit, and it was also too loud to fit the bill as background music. And the dynamic statics are nearly suffocating. Brevity is the soul of wit and all, but then again, Jónsi's never really been known for his sense of humor. So he sorry, I probably butchered that quote, but basically he was getting at it was too ambient, but also it couldn't really be background music because of how loud it got.
Yeah.
But it wasn't really it was too ambient to be accessible pop rock music at the same time.
I mean, I kind of just personally hate Ian Cohen. I think he needs to take a class on how to write a music review. But I do actually kind of see his point.
I kind of do too.
I do see his point there, and I love Sigur Rós. I mean, haven't listened to all their albums. I don't know their oeuvre. I can't claim to know, but this sounded like it could have very well been on a Sigur Rós album. I mean, if you had just said, "Who is this?" It's a band and someone played it. I think it was Sigur Rós. But I don't know exactly how to say it, but there is something a little bit indecisive. I did kind of have a similar impression that for an ambient song to be 8 minutes or longer, and I mean this sounds so snooty, but you go really slow. It's 8 minutes because it's something that you're seeing the flower bloom instead of just seeing the flower like a pop song. You see it bloom, and the mechanics are so slow. But here, it almost is like they didn't trust themselves to do a song like that.
And that's not Jónsi's style. He would never do a slow ambient drone.
Yeah.
It's kind of it still has that pop upbeat sensibility, but they're trying to make these like long, stretched out ambient tracks.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe, and I hate to kind of use Ian Cohen's words, but maybe part of it was like I was stuck between thinking of this as a pop song and then trying to think of it as like an ambient song. But I mean, I liked it. I don't know. What did you think?
Well, so there's one more thing I want to read for you.
Oh, I jumped the gun.
No, it's fine. Okay, so to answer your question, overall, I enjoyed the song, but it just made me want to listen to Sigur Rós. It felt like a Sigur Rós song that was missing a third of it. Like it felt like the beginning stages of an idea for a Sigur Rós song.
Yeah.
Maybe me being a Sigur Rós fan ruined it for me. Like if I'd gone in never knowing Sigur Rós, maybe I would enjoy it more. But it's just like I could listen to a better version of this very easily. My initial impression. Like I think it's masterfully done. The amount of texture and atmosphere that they injected into this, it's intoxicating.
Yeah.
But it feels like they're trying to build towards something that they never get to.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Like it feels incomplete.
No.
And the vocals, the loo that like the children's choir singing, all I could think of was Charlie Brown Christmas.
Yeah,
like they're like the Hark the Herald Angels sing like loo 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 loo. Like that's all I could hear. When they were doing the loo-loos in the background of the song. So that was very distracting for me.
I was the same. I kept thinking of, if not that, something very similar to that in my head. Just
Charlie
like,
Brown Christmas.
Something just kind of more generic, kind of like kid. It was very sentimental. That was my other thing. Is this song, it was very sentimental in a way that like Stars of the Lid again, because I was thinking the same thing. Like I haven't heard a single Stars of the Lid song that I could say was sentimental. It's like a kind of nostalgic, and it's kind of drawn out, and you feel something, but it's not sentimental.
No,
but this was in kind of that Charlie Brown way, where it was like, I feel good.
Yeah,
and then you're exactly right. I could hear a kind of better version of this if I just popped in
Sigur Rós.
Now. But I liked it. You're right too. It's very well layered.
It's very well done.
Yeah.
It's just there's better versions of it that I know exist.
Maybe it's not as confident
now,
as Sigur Rós.
When I was doing research for this, I couldn't find anything about this. So maybe I'm making it up. But back when this came out in 2009, I remember reading something about how this was intended for like children, like to help children sleep, because they did the picture book, which was for children.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know if Jónsi and Alex have a child together. I don't know that about their relationship, but for some reason I have this memory of them saying that they made the picture book for either their kid or kids, and this was supposed to be an album, Rice Boy Sleeps. It was supposed to help be a soothing album for children to listen to fall asleep.
I mean, in which case,
like I said, I might be making it up because I couldn't find anything about that when I was just researching it, but I remember that. Now, I feel the need to read this just to kind of give some context. So, on Jónsi and Alex's website, there's a press release for this album, and I just wanted to read an excerpt from it just to kind of give you some context for that. Played solely on acoustic instruments in Iceland and then endlessly toyed with on solar-powered laptops in a raw food commune in some far corner of Hawaii. Rice Boy Sleeps has a subtly organic feel to it.
With in there?
Was written
in. Oh my god, nice.
The wave-like lapping of its tidal flow buried beneath analog's hiss, crackle, pulse, and distortion. The creaking of rigging and sometimes indeterminate falling delicately over. On howl, ruminative animal chirrups, grunts, snorts, and purrs. I mean, for God's sakes, the last song on this album, which is called Sleeping Giant, is literally a 7-minute field recording of an accordion bellows. With no sound. It's literally just the sound of the bellows going
For 7 minutes?
And
wow.
There is light ambient drone,
Yeah.
but there's really no other structure than that. It's just the
Wow.
sound of the bellows opening and closing.
Yeah.
And just the raw food commune.
That must be like tongue in cheek. They threw the in there, like
See, because
hope.
I don't know who wrote it. It's
Yeah.
on the website, but it's just like
I
credited as press release. So
Yeah,
I don't
press
know.
release. Yeah.
I don't know if Jónsi and Alex wrote it or not, but it's just
Yeah.
like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I mean, yeah,
it's a good song,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's just not as good as a Sigur Rós song.
Yeah. It seems not as confident, or I'm not sure what it is, but yeah, there's something kind of indecisive in it that it just doesn't fully know what it's trying to achieve, like a Sigur Rós song does. Where
Yeah.
it's like I never for a second in Sigur Rós am I like, where are they going for? I just experience. I'm like, wow, it's
You
beautiful.
just take it in.
Yeah, exactly. But this, I was kind of like, what are they going for? But
All right. Okay, let's move on to our next one. All His Suits Are Torn by NOAFX, off the 1997 album So Long and Thanks for All the Shoes. NOAFX is an American punk rock band from Los Angeles, California. They formed in 1983 when vocalist and bassist Fat Mike got together with guitarist Eric Melvin, and they decided to start a band. NOAFX's mainstream success was signified by a growing interest in punk rock during the 1990s, but unlike many of their contemporaries, such as Bad Religion, Green Day, and The Offspring, they have never once signed to a major label.
oh,
So,
is that right?
yeah.
Wow.
They've released 12 studio albums, 15 extended plays, and a number of 7-inch singles on their own. Basically, they're DIY as fuck.
Yeah.
And they're
Damn.
good at it. Really fucking good at it.
Damn.
Like, I know there's this whole thing with like integrity in punk rock.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if there was a contemporary punk band that I would have to unironically throw the integrity word at, it would be these guys.
Yeah,
They have
no
stuck
shit.
to their guns since 1983, and they haven't stepped down. They've
Yeah.
always been just fucking doing what they're doing, and like, whether or not I even like their music, I can respect them for that.
Yeah, no doubt. Damn, you never sold out.
No.
Never sold out.
Their name comes from a famous Boston hardcore band called Negative FX, and they were looking for a band name, and they liked this hardcore band Negative FX, so they went with NOFX.
NOFX.
That's kind of where they got their name from. Fat Mike, he's kind of the front man for this band. He actually owns his own record label known as Fat Rec Chords.
Nice.
Yeah, and the label has released material for many notable bands, including NOFX, Good Riddance, Descendants, Me First and the Gimme Gimmes, The Loved Ones, Screeching Weasel, Propaganda, Rise Against, Lagwagon, Strung Out, No Use for a Name, Less Than Jake, Against Me, and Anti-Flag, which
Wow.
are all huge modern day punk rock bands. And one somewhat uncommon and defining characteristic of Fat Rec Chords is that they only sign one record deals with bands, like one record. So that allows the band to choose whether or not they want to continue to work with them after the one album is released.
Yeah.
They're not obligated to put out
yeah.
multiple.
Yeah.
And the label has never been a member of the Recording Industry Association of America, as indicated on their frequently asked questions portion of their website, stating, "Are we a member? Not only no, but fuck no. We spent 3 years having our label's name, which was misspelled, removed from their members list. A year went by, then our name showed up again on their fucking list. Who are these sons of bitches? Needless to say, we're in the process of having our name removed again, but they aren't being too cooperative."
Jesus.
Interesting fact, in 2010, at the end of a concert, after debuting a new song called Drinking Pee, a video played for the audience members that suggested a number of the festival participants unknowingly drank Fat Mike's urine.
Nice.
He was passing. So the video showed Fat Mike urinating into a bottle of Patron. And prior to that song going on, he threw a bottle of Patron into the crowd and people started drinking it. Little did they know that, of course, he switched it out with an actual bottle of Patron, but everyone thought they drank his piss. And
the
this
classic piss drink,
classic.
Nice.
This actually resulted in him being banned from that venue in Austin, Texas. And months later in an interview, he stated he was happy because he always wanted to be banned from somewhere.
Nice.
NOAFX is also known for their anti-Bush stance. In 2003, they put out an album called The War on Errorism, and this kicked off their anti-George Bush campaign. Fat Mike organized a punk website called punkvoters.com. He compiled 2 chart-topping Rock Against Bush albums where he got a bunch of his fellow punk band friends to put out anti-Bush and war songs. And he actually started a tour called the Rock Against Bush US Tour. And on a live appearance on NBC's Late Night with Conan O'Brien in 2004, they performed a somewhat controversial rendition of their song Franco Un-American, and they changed some of the lyrics in the song. Some of the lines they changed were to, "We all know George Bush is an imbecile. He loves dick but hates homosexuals. We're sick and tired of the embarrassment. The whole world wants us to get a better president."
Nice. Yeah. Punk as fuck, man.
So the name of this album, So Long and Thanks for All the Shoes, I didn't know this because I don't go to many punk shows, but I guess it is a very common occurrence at a punk show for shoes to be thrown on stage, because oftentimes when people are crowd surfing, they will lose their shoes, and then if someone finds a shoe, throw it on stage.
Yeah.
So they got the name of that mixed with the Douglas Adams Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, So Long and Thanks for All the Fish.
Right.
So Long and Thanks for All the Shoes.
Nice.
In their linear notes for the album, they call it arguably their 3rd best album, which I think is pretty great.
Nice.
And also they're in the standard practice of including photographs of each of the band members within like the pamphlet of the album. They mocked it by having every picture of the band member replaced with a different person. So they got a bunch of friends of other punk bands to like stand in under like the Fat Mike page. It was just someone completely different.
Nice.
Yeah. So I guess before I get into some of the other stuff I found out about the song, what did you think of this song?
I don't know NOFX particularly well. I just know that they're kind of a influential punk band. This song sounded like a stock punk rock song.
It's kind of generic sounding.
Yeah, I mean, in
now
1997, I don't know if it sounded generic then.
Also,
it's 2 minutes long.
I know,
it's literally 2 minutes.
I know you're listening, Eric, and I'm very sorry. I know how much you love NOFX.
Sorry, Eric,
but
today's not your day.
Just simply based off of just like listening to it, the musicality, it's very stock. It's generic sounding.
Yeah.
Now,
it's not bad, but it's not revolutionary by any standards. It's just solid, straightforward.
Now, when more context is brought in, I think I like this song more. So I did a little bit of research, and while this is all purely speculation, many fans believe this song is actually about Billy Corrigan.
I was wondering, because what's
he says
the name?
Billy Coben.
Yeah, Billy Coben.
Billy Coben lost his name. Yeah.
Is there any relationship with NOFX and Billy Coben?
Well, so this is also speculation. I couldn't find concrete evidence supporting this, but some fans on the NOFX fan forums say Fat Mike fucking hates Billy Corrigan.
Yeah.
Anytime they end up playing a festival together, he'll make sure to ridicule Billy Corrigan publicly as much as he can. So I think he hates him.
Okay.
And so people believe this song, being that it was written in 97, is about kind of the decline of the Smashing Pumpkins.
At the time, yeah, it makes
and if you
sense,
read the lyrics, it makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
They got fucking huge, and then they just fucking bombed.
Yeah.
After Melancholy, pretty much.
Yeah.
Some people also believe that this is supposed to be kind of a mix of about between Billy Corgan and Kurt Cobain. If you look at the name Billy Cobain, it's kind of a mixture of their names.
Yeah, I could see that.
Now, both bands went down in flames for different reasons, but they both were bands in the 90s that soared too high, burnt their wings, and crashed into the sea in different respects. So it makes sense, and the music, it's not bad, but it's generic. But I do really enjoy the lyrics, especially knowing that.
Yeah, it makes it's
a very intelligent song.
Yeah, it makes it more significant.
Yeah,
no doubt. Yeah, but otherwise, it's just got the guitar riffs, a little distortion, drums, the bass, and the voice.
Now,
it's not bad.
I will say, like, for being kind of a generic sounding song, it sounds like they know exactly what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
And I think that comes back to that integrity. Like, you just kind of feel like an integrity and a soul that a lot of music in this vein kind of seems to lack. This mainstream punk, like Green Day's fucking soulless.
Yeah.
These guys, you can at least tell, like, it might kind of sound a little generic, but they're sticking to their guns and doing what they do best.
Yeah.
They're not selling out.
Yeah, true. No, and the lyrics, especially seen in that light, it makes it, clever. Clever. But it's a short song too. It's literally 2 minutes long.
Like a punk song should be.
Yeah.
And I did really like that line. I'm gonna get it wrong now. But like, I wouldn't want to know anyone who would want to know me. I did really like that line.
Yeah.
I like that line a lot.
Yeah.
Fuck anyone that wants to be my friend.
Yeah.
Which
very
is
punk,
kind of like, it's very punk, but it also resonates, I feel, with like Billy Corgan and Kurt Cobain. I could see both of them like earnestly, unironically saying that line. Whereas obviously Fat Mike is being sarcastic and mocking by saying that.
Yeah.
It's very kind of pretentious. I wouldn't want to know anyone who'd want to know me.
Yeah, and that was something I wrote down too. This music is not at all pretentious. Like, kind of like they know what they're doing.
It's honest.
Yeah, it's very honest. Yeah, so it's the kind of song that would have that kind of like sarcastic, kind of critique of that stuff.
Yeah.
Straightforward punk song. So it's good. I'll give this the shuffle good.
The shuffle good. The shuffle good and tea.
Yeah.
All right. With that, let's move on to our last song, Cilonen.
This one's good. Oh, this one's
good.
I don't want to spoil it, but this one will get
that'll
good.
be it for episode 16. Cilonen by AFX off the 2005 Analord 5. AFX is one of the numerous aliases of Richard D. James, better known as Aphex Twin, the Irish-born British electronic musician and composer who is based in London. He is best known for his influential and idiosyncratic work in the electronic music styles such as IDM and ambient techno, especially in the 1990s, for which he won widespread critical acclaim. And this is actually Richard's second appearance on Shuffle, though Dominic was not there for the first one.
Man, where was I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where were you, man? You were in Fargo, I'm assuming.
Fuck Fargo, man. Shit.
You heard it here, folks. Fuck Fargo. Though the first time he appeared on the podcast, it was as Aphex Twin, so this is his first appearance as AFX. AFX is actually one of his very first monikers. I might be getting this wrong, but I believe he actually used it before he was Aphex Twin. And it's a special moniker in that he's got like a tome full of different names he records under. This is his most frequently used one other than AFX, and it actually kind of has there's a reason why he uses it, because usually when he records under AFX, it is strictly with analog synthesizers.
Oh.
He kind of restricts himself to only using analog synthesizers, and that kind of leads to it being kind of this acid techno, which I believe we kind of briefly got into when Square Pusher was on Shuffle.
Yeah.
Just a quick reminder of acid. Acid techno is a very specific type of techno music, or acid house also, in that it's a genre of music that is specific to a certain instrument, the Roland TB series. Specifically, I believe the TB303, and the unique kind of squelching sound that it puts out that defines this acid movement, which was huge in the 90s. And so this Analord series, it happened after Aphex Twin kind of disappeared for a while, so it's kind of all anyone had for a long period of time.
Yeah.
It's an interesting series. So it's called the Analord series. It's actually a 3.5 hour long series.
Damn.
42 tracks, all on 12-inch vinyl.
Wow.
Each one had anywhere between like 2 and 4 songs on it. And it was interesting. He released the 10th one first, and people didn't know about it. All of a sudden there was just this AFX single, and if you bought it, you got this big box set with one sleeve in it and all these empty spots. All of a sudden you're like, oh, there's going to be more of these.
Nice.
And actually to date, there's actually been about 20 bonus tracks that have been added to the series, which actually brings the total up to 62 in a running time of 4 hours and 36 minutes.
Good God.
The name Analord is believed to refer to the analog and digital electronic music equipment that James uses to perform most of his music, as well as being a double entendre. Since James has a penchant for anagrams, it is noteworthy that Analord is an anagram for a Roland. A Roland being the instrument that produces acid techno.
Nice.
And it's also been speculated that Analord is kind of like a combination of the words analog and anal lord. You know, he's been known to use crude humor. He's Lord of Anus.
Hey, there you go. Nice.
I guess. Yeah. So this particular track, Cilonen, is the B-side to the 5th installment in the series, Analord 5. And from what the research I did, and this was kind of hard to track down, I believe Cilonen is a small region in Wales, actually. Like a very small farming region.
Yeah.
And there's a road called Cilonen Road.
Wow.
And like if you Google Cilonen, and the whole first page of like results is just Aphex Twin related, but then the second one, it's called Cilonen Listings, and it's like real estate websites selling housing in this small area of Wales.
Wow.
Which actually makes sense because many of Aphex Twin's song titles are actually like old Welsh phrases.
Yeah.
So he uses Welsh a lot in his... So it makes sense that this would be a region in Wales.
Yeah.
So what did you think of Cilonen?
I mean, like Square Pusher, which I loved. I liked this song. That being said, I didn't think it was as good. I can't remember what Square Pusher song we listened to.
Melody AM.
Yeah, something like that. It wasn't.
Or Journey to Reedham.
Yeah,
Journey
that's
to
it.
Something ham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't quite hit that level of like virtuosity. I liked it. I generally like acid house or acid techno. I don't know it really well, but like every time I've thrown on some like Pandora playlist of it, I like it. That being said, it almost sounds like tell me if this seems right or if it seems totally off. But like if you take a relatively standard melody that you could make electronically, just a couple standard riffs of melody, and you just accelerate it to times 200. is that what this song is? And then just a few other things added on it, but it's almost like just an absurdly fast like repetition of a melody that I enjoy listening to. But I can't tell if I'm being a little bit tricked with it.
No, I think that's a very fair assessment, especially like NOFX Twin. He's known for his kind of like fast, manic beats.
frenetic.
And it makes sense for it to be extremely repetitive if it is throwing back to house, because house is very repetitive over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair assessment. I agree. I think this kind of goes back to the Jónsi song. This is an alright, like it's a good song, but it just makes me want to listen to NOFX Twin because there's so much good NOFX Twin, even other NOFX music, and like it's just like listening to this just makes me think Richard's done better. Yeah, I'd rather listen just a better Richard song.
Yeah, it made me think of other. In fact, that was my experience. It reminded me of the genre and the artist, and I was like, shit, I want to listen to him more. Yeah, because this seems like kind of like a rough draft.
It just pales in comparison.
Yeah.
And it's honestly like, especially when he does stuff as NOFX Twin, it's very interesting. I won't say every song is like this, but especially like his last album he just put out, Cyro. From like, I know you can't squint through listening, but from like a vague listening to it, it sounds like a repetitive song. But if you pay attention, it's constantly in flux. It's always changing, evolving.
Yeah.
This is very static in comparison.
Yep.
So it's easy to kind of like lose interest in it. Like, you know, there's some bleeps and bloops in there and really fast drums and percussion. But other than that, it's kind of flat and soulless. And I feel like oftentimes many artists, when they put a series of kind of constraints on themselves, usually kind of like thrive.
Yeah.
Like when you limit yourself, you're forced to be more creative.
Yeah.
I think NOFX Twin is like this virtuoso genius to the extent where restraining himself to nothing but analog synthesizers actually harms him. Yeah. He needs his full palette of all of his weird fucked up computer electronic shits to like fully make his music. Like being constrained like this makes him less of what he could possibly be.
Yeah, I agree. Because my biggest because the song is confident, it's extremely precise, but it just seems simple. It seems like he could do more with more equipment.
Yeah, and I guess maybe if you had like just played this for me like blindly, maybe I would enjoy it more. But like all I can hear is like, you can do better than this, Richard.
Yeah.
You can do way better than this.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's a good song, but it's not as good as it could be.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's because it's hard to say. I mean the song's good, but by comparison to other NOFX Twin or even like Square Pusher. Shit, I mean, but I mean it's good. I mean it's the song is fast and it raises your heart rate, but it's not aggressive. You know what I mean? It's like it's angular and riffy, but it's not like a Dan Deacon style of like Dan Deacon can almost burn you out, but this is like a similar spirit, but you're not gonna get burnt out listening to it. But it just seems unnecessarily bare. And a few times I was convinced that like if I just slowed this down by 200%, this is just like boop boo doo boo doo boo boo doo boo doo boo doo doo. But it's just I mean a few times I was just like, dude, you just fucking cranked this so loud. Which I mean it's not bad, but there could be more. There could be more to it. So it gets the good.
It gets the shuffle good. The shuffle good. Okay, well, of this series of shuffle good songs, what was your goodest of the good?
Actually, that's tough because they all kind of got the good. Oh man, fuck!
You have to pick.
I gotta pick. I've always picked.
You gotta pick.
That one was good. That one was good. That one was good. And that one was good. And that one was good. I think I'm gonna pick. what's my criteria here? What's the criteria? What makes it the best good? Like, just
Okay.
which one would I want to listen to
Yeah,
again?
that's usually how I do it. Like, which one of these songs could you actively sing yourself going and be like, I want to listen to this song for my own pure enjoyment?
Atlas song.
Atlas song?
Yep. That's my most enjoyable. Yeah.
I think I'm going to have to go with Death Cab.
Yeah. Fair.
Or Debate Exposes Doubt. Because I do enjoy that song.
It's, the lyrics.
And I could see
are,
myself
very
going
good.
back to that
Yeah.
quicker than Rice Boy Sleeps.
Yeah.
But that's just me. Well, anyway, I guess that kind of wraps things up. Please continue to send in submissions of tracks you want to hear us talk about or genres. I believe we actually have enough songs for our next user-generated playlist, which I'm thinking maybe we'll do next.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
but keep sending them in because I actually have a couple songs for the 3rd volume. So if you want to be part of that or any other, actually, you can help start thinking about this. Friend Grant suggested that we do an episode of cover songs.
Oh yeah.
Maddie recommended if we could try to find like one song that was covered by 5 different bands, or if we just want to do like 5 different covers that we think are particularly good or something. We can talk about it. But yeah, please
Nothing
send
but Beatles covers.
Beatles covers. That'll be hard to find. No one's ever done a Beatles cover before. So if you have any stuff like that you want to send in to us,
Right on.
send it to us. Facebook.com/shuffle, @Shuffle Podcast on Twitter, shufflepodcast.tumblr.com. Email us, shufflecastpod@gmail.com. Or if you know me in real life, you can contact me however you normally would. If you want to hear me and my friends talk about video games ever, please check out the Game Cave Podcast, soundcloud.com/the Game Cave Podcast. They actually just did a 2nd installment of video game music. So it's kind of like a little shuffle crossover where everyone's talking about their favorite video game music.
Nice.
And I
Final
guess
Fantasy VII fucking theme song to the final fight against Sephiroth.
there you go.
That's my favorite.
Fucking nerd.
Listen to that one, dude. Fucking blow your mind.
All right, I'll
Be
put it
scared
on.
to go to sleep.
Okay. Imagine Sephiroth's gonna come stab us with his really long sword and sexy silver man hair.
He's a beautiful man.
Too bad you have to destroy him.
I know. Fuck.
Just like Edward Norton has to destroy Jared Leto in Fight Club.
So beautiful. Yeah,
Just gotta
no
destroy
kid.
something beautiful. Okay, here are your here's your tracks for the next episode 17, whenever it happens. First track, 1 by Alluvium. Second, Sink Florida Sink by Against Me. Third, Ol 55 by Tom Waits. Fourth, High and Dry by Radiohead,
Nice.
which is that's a big one. And fifth, A Drowning by How to Destroy Angels. Other than that, thank you for listening. I hope you all have a good week, and bye.
Seacrest out.
Yeah, see. God damn it.
Hey, now that American Idol's done, I gotta carry it on.
He's carrying the torch. He's doing the Lord's work.
Hell yeah, motherfucker.
All right. Bye, everybody.